Hello, my name is Atal and today I will be presenting on the topic color sensors. The contents of this presentation are Introduction, Principle of a color sensor, Circuit diagram of a color sensor, TCS 3200 color sensor, Advantages and disadvantages of color sensor, Applications of color sensors, and then the references. Introduction. All colors can be created using red, green and blue combination. White is composed of RGB components in equal percentage. White is not a color and decreases its intensity as it becomes gray and then black. A color sensor is a type of photoelectric sensor which emits light from a transmitter and then detects the light reflected back from the detection object with a receiver. A color sensor can detect and receive light intensity for red, blue and green respectively, making it possible to determine the color of the target object. Principle of a color sensor. There are two types of color sensors. One illuminates the object with broad wavelength light and differentiates the three types of color in the receiver. The other type illuminates the object with the three types of light, red, blue and green independently. In both scenarios, the received light intensity of red, blue and green are detected and the ratio of light received is calculated. If light containing the red, blue and green wavelength is shown on a red object, only red light will be reflected. For a white object, all three colors of red, blue and green are reflected. The ratio of red, green and blue reflections vary according to the color of the object. By varying the ratio of the intensity of the red, green and blue light received, it is possible to distinguish differences in the color or appearances of the object. When the distance to the target changes, the received light intensity also changes. For example, in the vibration of a conveyor, variations in target's passing position. However, even when the distance to the target changes, the color ratio does not change and hence the detected color. Circuit diagram of color sensor. To detect the color of material, three main types of equipment are required. A light source to illuminate the material surface, a surface whose color has to be detected, and the receiver, which can measure the reflected wavelengths. Color sensor contain a white light emitter to illuminate the surface. Three filters with wavelength sensitivities at 580 nanometer, 540 nanometer and 450 nanometer to measure the wavelengths of red, green and blue color respectively. Based on the activation of these filters, the color of the material is categorized. A light to voltage converter is also present in the sensor. The sensor responds to color by generating a voltage proportional to the detected color. TCS 3200 color sensor. Some of the examples of color sensors available in the market are AS73211, TCS 3200, TCS 3400, TCS 34715, TCS 34727. Here we discuss about the TCS 3200 color sensor. The TCS 3200 color sensor is a programmable color sensor which converts color light to frequency. The output frequency of the sensor is directly proportional to the intensity of the light reflected from the object. TCS 320 color sensor module has RGB plus clear sensors along with 4 bright white light LEDs embedded on the board. TCS 3200 has an 8x8 array of photodiodes, 16 each for red filters, blue filter, green filters and clear, that is the no filter. The sensors are addressed one color at a time and the light intensity is measured. As there are an array of sensors, the results are averaged and then sent out for processing. These devices are far from perfect, and as photodiodes and phototransistors do not respond to every wavelength of light equally, the results are not linear between the three colors. These non-linearities are compensated for in the processing device. The use of filters in color sensors allow for the detection and measurement of specific colors or wavelengths of light, while blocking out other colors and wavelengths. This helps to improve the accuracy and reliability of the color measurement, as well as reduce interference from unwanted colors or light sources. For example, a color sensor that is designed to detect red light might use a filter that blocks out all other colors except for red. This allows the sensor to accurately measure the intensity of the red light in the given scene without being affected by other colors that may be present. Advantages and disadvantages of a color sensor. Advantages. Automated system can be built using color sensor which help in completing of work in less time. Powerful and large memory color sensors ICs are available at low cost. It is easy to change or modify manufacturing setups without even reprogramming the sensor device. Disadvantages: the approach is costly for small scale industries. It does color matching or identification in applications requiring only pass fill output. Operating distance range of the color sensors are matter of concern. This needs to be chosen appropriately with rigorously testing in the setup. Applications of color sensor. This figure shows the overview of various applications of a color sensor, that is the presence control, quality control, object positioning, object sorting, color coding. The first application of color sensor is lit presence detection on rotating cans. The control of an aluminum seal presence on rotating cans before packaging is necessary, regardless of the different colors among which an aluminum color model predominated. The can body is detected in order to activate the output only with seal absence or damage. The second application is detection of semi-transparent objects. The sensor controls the quality of the wire to exclude parts with too much or insufficient transparent sections. Next application is opaque mark detections on shiny surfaces. The sensor detects the mark on the champagne bottles in order to stop the bottle in correct position for successive operations. Next application, color discrimination with slight color variations. The sensor detects small tone differences of same colored parts in order to sort each product in the correct assembling line. Next application, detection of the correct wiring. The sensor detects the color pattern in order to verify the correct wire sequence. The wire color sequence is transmitted to a PC through the serial interface. Next application is check the color inside the bottle and apply the proper color marking to the cap. The sensor detects the color of the liquid inside each bottle and provides information for marking the color on the cap. The references that are used for this presentation are as follows. Thank you.